Hey everybody, it's Aluna Michaels, Esoteric Astrologer, and I am going to talk to you about the events of July 2016. And very excited that just a few days ago, today is July 3rd when I make this, but just about 4 days ago, planet Mars went direct. Yay! We always like it when Mars is direct because Mars is about going forward. So more than any other planet, it does not like to go backwards, or at least sitting still. And so it's going forward. If you remember, it retrograded in the middle of April, and it was in Sagittarius when it retrograded. But then it went back, like at Memorial Day at the end of May, it went back into Scorpio. And so it went direct in Scorpio. It's going to go back into Sagittarius the very beginning of August, and we'll talk about that next month because that's all kind of fun too. But as that Mars is going forward, it's really helping to clarify issues about, Scorpio and Mars sort of themes. Moving ahead in the world, finances, power with others, personal power, sexuality issues, fears, your shadow self. But what the gift is from that shadow is all about Scorpio. And when Mars is retrograde, it's like that journey to reconnect with that sort of power, and also to reconnect with trust with others. It was a great time to release, forgiveness, well, not release forgiveness, to have forgiveness with others, release the anger and pent up stuff and frustrations and all that. And now that Mars is direct, you can really reap that energy, that fresh spiritual energy of like, it's, trusting is good, bonding is good, money is a source of potent self-expression in the world, not about power and stress and things like that. So there's just a lot of empowering feelings, and especially if you're working with spiritual issues, it's a great time to know that you have uncovered and discovered a whole lot of like potent pieces of stuff that you can go forward and make a lot of beautiful energy out of all of that. And it's still, as Mars is in Scorpio this month of July, it's still, working on this stuff. When we get into August, and even more towards the end of August, it's like more and more celebration and even more kind of burden off your shoulders. But at least you know how to get the burden off your shoulders now. Another thing that's great is that this month, actually tomorrow, the new moon in Cancer, it's at 12 degrees of Cancer, and it's pretty close to Mercury and Venus, which are also in the sign of Cancer. The new moon is trining Neptune in Pisces, and it's also opposite Pluto, and then making another connection to Saturn, which we'll get into, but it's just in general, all of these energies toward that new moon. So it's like, this fresh energy, moving ahead, and especially because it's the new moon in Cancer, fresh things about your family, about self-care, about family. When I say family, like history with family, the history of how you take care of yourself and how you can change that to be even more loving and more nurturing, and then that radiates out to other people in your world, so it's kind of a reconnecting with feeling safe, and because Scorpio is like more like, because Mars in Scorpio, the exploring, it's safe to explore and go out there, and the new moon with all of those other planets with it, it's like it's safe to be present, it's safe to be connected to those people close to you. So it's a good energy right there. Okay, the next thing is that going toward the, let's see, basically, like, let's say the second, like we get into like the 15th of July, Mercury and Venus are going to go into Leo. The sun will still be in Cancer, but they'll be connecting with each other. So when they do that, through the middle of the month, through about the 23rd, they're also going to trine, which is an easy flow of energy, trine Saturn. So Mercury and Venus, they have been sort of running neck and neck, and it's about, if Venus is love and what you feel good about and just relationship things and stuff like that. Mercury's communication, so you can communicate positive thinking to others and feeling like you're in love, feeling like you're happy, feeling like you know how to be nurtured and nurture others, especially because Leo, how to make people feel special, how you feel special, how you feel like you're just sort of clicking with people, you know? And also it's a great time for positive affirmations and planting positive messages in your mindset. And then the trine to Saturn is the commitment to that and feeling like it's easy to do this, even if you've tried it before, which is part of Saturn, you can do it again and it can really click. You know, if it's connecting again in a relationship, even if you're, say you're in a relationship but it's had some hard times, especially with that Mars retrograde, that you trust each other in a new way, that you're open to support one another, to try new forms of appreciating each other, that kind of thing. Even in a work environment, because Saturn represents work too, that it can be, you know, a new beginning with the people that are already in your life and cooperating with them, and everybody wins kind of thing is that feeling with Leo, you know? You make me feel good, I'm making you feel good, and we're cooperating and moving ahead. And so that's also really nice. And at the end of the month, Uranus is going to turn retrograde. That's going to happen on the 29th of July. So Uranus starts to turn retrograde, you know, again, the mid to late July. And, you know, that's what, I mean, those planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto retrograde once a year, well, so does Saturn. But, well, anyways, leave that alone for a second. But the outer planets that are such big energies, you know, when they, it's not such a big deal if they are retrograde, but when they're turning retrograde or turning direct, we'll pay attention more to that than just the general retrograde. But that turning around is, and that slowing down is really also being able to look at what, again, what you want to be creating, what you create even accidentally and inadvertently, and like, I don't like that, like, oh, I can change that, you know, especially because you've done all that digging with the Mars and Scorpio. So the Uranus slowing down is kind of like a fan, like when it's going fast, you just see a whir, but as it slows down, you can see the individual blades, you kind of see how your mind works or how you get triggered by things. And you go, oh, okay, I can see that. And now I can fix it. So having those insights, and to be, it's kind of nice because with the Mercury and Venus working with the Saturn, relationships are so much smoother that if things do burble up, you say, oh, I'm going to fix that in myself. Or even if it's something about yourself, you feel more kind towards yourself in observing it and then correcting it. You know, and even with the Uranus turning retrograde, it can be asking people that you feel really tuned in with, which is part of Uranus, you know, what's your advice about how to fix this in me? Or, you know, why do I get stuck on this little thing? And the friend could have like an insight, which is part of Uranus. And like, wow, I never would have thought of that. And the way they approach it really clicks and you're ready to hear it and make a shift. So this is a real positive month, and not that things are bad other months, but, you know, you've done a lot of hard work with that Mars retrograde in Scorpio. And like I said, sometimes this month is just kind of being so present with everything. You might not see how far you've come until August, but still, trust me, celebrate now, be grateful for yourself now, and how much more is going to unfold. So have fun for July, and I will see you next month. My website is alunamichaels.com if you want to contact me for your own personal reading or connect with me through YouTube or my website, and send me an email. And bye for now.